Hello, I'm Wendy. Thanks for coming to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be working on a glue book that I've been working on for some time, and I'm just about finished. So it's an exciting time because I love it when I can wrap up something and then make room for something new. Today, I also wanted to talk a little bit about discouragement and how to keep going when you feel unmotivated and discouraged. And it happens to all of us. It happens to me, definitely. Not all the time, of course, but I just wanted to maybe discuss it a little bit and perhaps you can relate. So I hope you enjoy the process of this, and let's see what happens. So this is the glue book that I'm using. It's actually a travel journal size. And I'll show you the cover. They usually come like this, and this one is came with these 3 insets. So when I'm finished, I can put it in here, and there's lots of room with the elastic. So even though it's become quite a bit fatter, it'll still work in this cover. This is the last page I did. Now I was thinking of sort of glue booking or doing that kind of decoration on the inside covers as well, but I decided to do it a little bit differently. And I'm going to just line them with color. And I chose this piece of paper. And I'm trying to decide whether it's going to work with this or fight with it. And the blue is not quite the same, but you know, I think I'm going to go with it anyway, because the yellows kind of work here. And if I feel like it later, I can actually come in and color these. So I need to first just do some measuring here, and this is my method of just, without having to get out rulers and do math, which I think we probably mostly all appreciate, not doing math, that is. So I'm going to just cut this piece, glue it in, and then we'll be done. This little part. Now make sure that I got that in there straight. I think I need a new blade in my little cutter here because it's starting to tear a little bit. This is my piece, right? Yes. Okay, question is what glue to use. I think I will use this one so that I can get it really stuck down without having too much warping of the paper, which requires me to put glue all over it. Okay, the reason I was thinking today about discouragement is because it happens to all of us. If you're a creative person and you're working on projects, or you're in a creative business or whatever, you're going to have days that you just get discouraged. And there are different reasons why that happens. Sometimes it's just that you look at someone else's success and go, oh my goodness, I am nowhere near that, and will I ever be? And that happens to me, as my friend says, not gonna lie. This piece was cut off from something else, and it is just a little bit narrow, but because there's so much bend in this, and this is more like a cardstock, I thought I would put it in anyway and just leave that little edge so that I could easily close the book. So we'll do that. Obviously, should have kept my cutter out. Anyway, as I was saying, sometimes, you know, we have dreams and goals and plans, and we work towards them. And sometimes the progress seems so slow. And then, like I said, you look at someone else's and you can go, man, I should have done something completely different with my work, with my life, with anything, everything. I think I'm going to use this glue on this because it's a cardstock. It's going to stick a little bit better. The glue stick is great for lighter paper, but if there's any pull on it, it doesn't necessarily stick as well. Also, the dampness of this glue is not going to warp this paper because it's thicker paper. There's my other lifter things here. I love these tweezers, by the way. for just picking things up so you don't get glue on your fingers. Just going to line this up here as well as I can. I cut it just a shade too short, but that's all right. I don't mind. It means it's got a little bit of a white border around it. That's okay. I'll just slide it around while I can. And then not touch it. Okay, so on this page, I am going to sort of follow this pink theme and use some pinks here. First, I want to, the house got kind of hot today because it was cold this morning. I turned up the heat and then the sun came out and it's warmed up a lot. So now it's like, whew. Okay, I pulled out a few pictures here and some papers and whatnot that I thought I might use here. I love this pretty thing here. I think it also needs to have a little bit shaved off of it. And I might just take it off this side. And I really only need to take a tiny bit off, I think. Again, because it's got that rounded corner, I want to make sure that it goes around the corner or it's going to stay in spite of that curve. So there's that piece. And then I also have this piece, which I thought I might use some of as just sort of a background paper. I don't know if that's cut straight or not. And I wonder if I'm having second thoughts just because these patterns are going to fight with each other. I'm not really sure. So I'm not going to. Their decision made. What I am going to do is put a pinkish background with distress ink and a brush. I'm going to use this big brush. And I'll put that one with this one at the top. So I don't need to do that part. But I'll brush this on. Now I could also use pastels, chalks, all kinds of things to do this. This is kind of quick and easy. And it does make for a nice background as well. I always prefer not to have it look too streaky, but it doesn't really matter very much. So if I put this on here, take it right up to the top. Not a lot of this is going to show anyway. Yeah, let's just put that one down and move along. So with the topic of discouragement, like why, there's different reasons why you can become discouraged. Oh, look at that. That is so pretty. You know what? I like it better. I like it better. There, I just changed my mind. Comparisonitis is one of the main ones, I would say, because it's so easy to compare. And quite a long time ago, I decided there's two ways to compare. One is to compare up and the other is to compare down, which means you can compare people who you feel have moved beyond where you are, and you will find yourself lacking. Or you can compare to yourself how far you've come, and you'll come away with an entirely different feeling. It's hard to get this straight. And you will feel completely differently about yourself. So in times when I'm feeling a little bit discouraged, if that's the reason, which it isn't always, I like to remember that I need to compare in a different direction. I'm going to put this across here. Now, I want to cover up that cushion thing. So I'm going to tear it about there. Another reason that you can get discouraged is that you're just not feeling well. And one of the reasons for that can be that you just aren't looking after yourself. If you are running on empty, if you're stressed out, if you're not taking time off, if you're unhappy, there's just so many reasons. If you're putting everybody's needs before your own, it's like they say on the airplane, put your own mask on first, your oxygen mask. because you can't help anybody else if you can't breathe. So if you're starting to feel discouraged, perhaps it's time to just look at how well you're looking after yourself. That's nice. I like that. It actually has a piece of tape on it in the middle here, but you can hardly see it, so I'm going to leave it. And I'm also going to press this down on the edge so that it doesn't curl up when the book closes. Okay, now I had something else I was going to put in here. What else? What did I do with it? I've got that pretty rose, which I might put down there, but I had more pink things, so just hold on a minute. Let me see if I have any little bits in here that would work. I want to keep it pink rather than red, even though there's quite a deep pink in there, like a dark pink. That's pretty, very pretty. There's a large hat. I think it's probably too big for the situation. That one's nice. Another way you become easily discouraged is if you don't have any support. And I think that's quite a big one, because so often when you're in a creative field, people are just not supportive. If you're trying to make a living as an artist, for example, or in any kind of creative field, there will be lots of people who would line up to tell you that you'll never make it or that you can't do it. And if you've been working in a creative field for any length of time, even going to school or taking a class or anything, you probably have had people tell you to quit because you're not any good. That can be very discouraging. That is so pretty. I'm almost tempted to put it there just because it's so gorgeous. So the trick with that is to surround yourself with people who understand where you are and what you're trying to do. They might be people who are also trying to do the same thing and will support you, or they might be someone just who loves you and is willing to support you for that reason alone. Sometimes the fact that they just aren't against you is helpful. If you have people in your life who are actively against you, I'm not going to say get them out of your life. I'm going to say limit your time with them and learn how to just ignore what they say, because it can be so devastating to be discouraged all the time, and it can make you quit. It really can. I mean, I've had times when I've thought, well, why am I even doing anything that I'm doing? Especially after some kind of incident with someone who's just not on my side. You know what I mean? Those kind of people are a dime a dozen, and you don't need them. And one thing that I've learned over the course of my life is not to listen to people who don't know what they're talking about. And there are lots of them, especially with opinions about creative lives. I'm sure you've had somebody say, why are you doing that? You'll never make a living. Go get a real job. Well, I'm telling you, don't listen to them. If you want to, you could say, oh yeah, and how much experience have you had being an artist that makes you such an authority on how it's possible? If you look around you, for example, art is on everything. For example, let me show you this. I bought this at a dollar store. This is someone's art. And I have more things like that. But if you look around you, you'll find that so many things have been created by artists and designers. Okay, I don't know if I want that or not. It's kind of red rather than pink. I'm not sure I want that either. I think I like the ones without the white around them better. That's pretty striking, but that still leaves what will I do over here. That's pretty cute. So is that. Sometimes you just have to make a decision. So I'm going to put this in. So there's that thought. Now, don't listen to people who don't know what they're talking about. If you don't have anybody in your life supporting you, get into a group. Find people online. Find one person even who's supportive. Usually that's another artistic person who knows what the life is like and has probably gone through the same kind of discouragements. So for me, I have a friend who's like that. She's a musician, and she came up against the same kind of junk that I have. That is, people who sabotage you on purpose and take away any kind of opportunities or block you from them. There are people who are just malicious because they're jealous or because they want control or whatever. Get those people out of your life as much as you can. Sometimes you can't because you're related to them, married to them, or whatever. In that case, just don't talk to them about what you're doing. I found that really helpful. People will say, how's business? And I just say, oh, it's great, thank you. Thanks for asking. How are you? How are things with you? Thereby deflecting the attention away from me, because I'm not interested in their opinions. I'm not interested in their questions. They're not really interested in me. I just avoid the situation. Sometimes I avoid the people because I know I'm going to have to deal with that. And the other thing you can do is just talk to them and say, look, this is a topic that's off the table for discussion. That's kind of pretty there, isn't it? They might be offended, and it's like tough. Sometimes I can be a little bit blunt. I'm being blunt right now. And sometimes you have to just be strong, and you have to be tough. And because you have to guard your heart. The Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of life. So if the issues in your life include creativity or a creative career or being an artist or whatever, you have to guard your heart and guard it with all diligence. I'm going to put this big peony right here because I like it. So if you need an authority on how you should do this, just remember that God said, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of life. Guard your heart. Okay, I want to put some little doodad in there, and I've got my new organizational plan here. I've sorted things sort of so that I can easily get to them. Now, I'm thinking, since I've got flowers, I want something a little bit different. And I've got a few book things here. They're a little bit big. Yeah, they're too big and sort of heavy looking. But I also have some little doodads here that might work. Not that. That's sort of a maybe. No, that's too big. That one's a maybe because it says, well, it said carte postale on there and I just covered it up, which I kind of didn't want to do, but I was busy yakking on important matters. Too much yellow. Okay, I also have spilling out these little ones, which are more sort of art and book related. All right, let's have a quick look at those. Okay, another reason you might get discouraged is because you're just tired. And sometimes you're tired because of sleep problems. I have had sleep problems for a long time. And some days I'm so tired I can barely think straight. And I get discouraged very easily because of that. I have learned, however, to recognize that I'm discouraged because I'm tired and that I can work through it because I can't go have a sleep. I don't sleep in the daytime very well anyway, but I can just go, you know what? I can work more slowly. I can not pressure myself, those kind of things. Okay, I want to put, this is like a passport thing, which is kind of appropriate. And the books are kind of cute, but this is nice. I don't want it to be too repetitive. I like the shape of that one. And I might just leave that blank, but I'm not really sure yet. The topic of being tired kind of falls under self-care as well. However, sometimes you're tired because you're stressed out. Sometimes it's because you need a holiday. And I realized a long time ago in my business that when I don't care about it anymore, it's a sure sign that I need a vacation. Or if I find everything a chore. That's such a funny little thing. I kind of like it there. It's the right shape. But I want something tiny. So let's see what my tiny things hold here. That's another flower. Anyway, I've been feeling like I need a vacation. And so I've booked one for a week away. And sometimes you need a vacation from the people that you live with. I'm just being blunt here. Sometimes you need a vacation from people, and sometimes it's from the people that you love, even. I like that. I think that works. Don't be ashamed of that you need a break from your family or your colleagues or whatever. Sometimes as artists, because we're a sensitive bunch, you just need time alone and a different scenery. You just need to get away from the everyday so that you can catch your breath, have a different view, and be able to think differently. That's really pretty. Now, I'm almost tempted to put something up here. I think that would ruin it, but maybe something that goes up like this. Since this is just green, I think I'll put this in here. It says 12th Night, which is a Shakespeare play, I think. I'm not mistaken. Yeah, William Shakespeare, it says right on it. Just put that right there. Oh, wait a minute. That's where that picture went. I was going to use that, and then I couldn't find it. Oh well, I'll have it for another time. This is pretty. I think this was a piece of wrapping paper that it came with a gift that I've been tearing apart for ages. I had thought about putting a different cover on this, and I might do that because it's obviously got some paint on it. But I'm not going to do it today because I can't really decide what to do with it. But I've finished this part and this whole book. So in another video, I'll do a flip through of the whole thing once I've decided what to do about the outside. Just a final word about discouragement. Get some rest. Look after yourself. Stay away from people who run you down or bring you down. And find people who support you and hold you up, will pray for you and will believe in you and believe in yourself. Keep looking at how far you've come, even if it doesn't seem like much. You're not where you were yesterday or the day before. Have a look at these other videos that I've got and have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.